We've got Jonathan Spalter, who's the head of Mobile Future, and we're going to talk to him a little bit more about mobile innovation, startups, and what you guys need to know when you're starting and running a business.
First, let me say it's fantastic to be back in Austin. Fantastic to be working again with you, Frank, and Tech.co, helping startups, large and small, make it. Mobile Future is, in fact, that's what one of the things we're dedicated to. Is we are the National Mobile and Wireless Association that really believes that we need to help encourage more innovation and more investment in our mobile ecosystem, and especially our mobile startup innovation community. We're building and deploying incredible new tools and services and content, but need to make sure that there's a partnership with the folks in government to make great things happen. It's, I think, not inappropriate to say that our national economy truly is becoming a mobile economy. So much of our national economic productivity is being driven by mobility, wireless capacity. It's inspired so many thousands of companies, deployments, technologies, utilities that are making every facet, not only of our economy, but our lives, completely different. We know that mobility is in fact one of the most significant drivers of economic productivity in our country, but not only that, it's driving job creation in ways that we could never have imagined only 20, 25 years ago. Every part of our economy, from the way that we're actually dealing with each other as human beings, civic engagement, our whole public safety infrastructure, the way that we're not only engaging with healthcare, but are so much more empowered to be healthy individuals, the way that we're actually even just creating new economic opportunities through job creation. Every part of our economy, brick and mortar companies and wireless companies alike, have effectively been mobilized. And it's the mobile glue that is in fact keeping the centrifuge of our hugely vast economic economy together. That's increasingly so, and that's why mobility is so important, and that's why we're dedicated to finding really great positive solutions to drive continued economic progress through mobile opportunities going forward. One of the reasons that we wanted to work with you at Tech.co to create these types of very intimate mentoring opportunities is because, in fact, success in the mobile technology space, in the broader technology space, is significantly enhanced, and the risks are taken out if earlier stage innovators and entrepreneurs can find mentors, can find colleagues, business associates, people that they look up to actually give them unvarnished, truthful advice about what's worked in their experience and what hasn't worked in their experience. The other key attribute, I think, to real success in the mobility space is not just understanding the marketplace, but helping the marketplace understand where the new opportunities are in terms of applications, in terms of services, in terms of product development. It's ability to be thought leaders not only in terms of product innovation, product deployment, but also being thought leaders in the broader social space about where mobility is going. You know, it used to be, I've been CEO of a few technology companies. One of our greatest pain points was understanding that even before we could raise a Series A, there were serious regulatory issues we had to address, sometimes spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in regulatory attorneys' fees to solve regulatory issues that would block the successful deployment of our business models. Today, I think even more so than just a few years ago, mobile entrepreneurs understand that government is very, very important to their success or their future, not necessarily as catalysts, but as potential gatekeepers. And so mobile entrepreneurs need to understand the lay of the land for how government is thinking about technology policy development. They need to understand how to work with, or even sometimes around, governmental barriers to get to success. But they also have to be mindful that in a world where companies that are so explosively and innovatively disruptive as Uber and Lyft and Airbnb, not to mention a swath of mobile and wireless companies that really want to succeed, they need to understand that their voice, their involvement and their engagement in public policy issues is really important, because our lawmakers, our regulators need to understand what's going on much further down in the stack of innovation. So early stage entrepreneurs need to stand up and be heard. have to have their voices engaged, because
Right.
mobility and the future of mobility, the mobile future, depends on it. It's always hard to divine where things are going to go. I think that for sure, as we know that the so-called Internet of Things is taking over, and soon there are going to be 50 billion wireless sensors deployed around the world, that mobility as a result, mobile opportunity, mobile business models, mobile products will be hugely adaptive to this new, much more contextually aware environment that we're going to be moving into, that's going to be built on this massive new infrastructure of the Internet of Things. Our devices, regardless of what kind of devices they are going to be infinitely smarter, because they're going to be able to understand our physical environments and our engagement with that physical environment in ways that we could never have imagined even just 4 years ago. Another really important catalyst of the next steps in mobility will be as our network engineers and the companies that are investing tens of billions of dollars in our national infrastructure for wireless connectivity are even moving to evolve current networks to even greater heights of speed and lower latency and security through the next iterations of 4G technology, and even probably by the end of the decade to the realization of the promise of what we're calling 5G networks. They're going to be software defined, they're going to be explosively fast, but we're not the only ones. The United States isn't the only ones that's looking at where we need to go in terms of network evolution. Many other countries are investing serious amounts of money in R&D in the race to actually be the 5G winners. Well, we in the United States have done profoundly well in building out 4G long-term evolution. We are the leaders globally. I think in order to maintain that global leadership, we need to move now, and our friends and partners in government have to enable our innovators and our network infrastructure companies to succeed in the race to 5G as well. Consumers are driving not only an expectation, but more importantly, the need to have that kind of instant, always-on, secure, strong connectivity. And we can't take for granted, therefore, the need for our network providers to be able to have the motivation and the incentive to continue to invest at the levels that they have, to continue to allow the kind of innovation that we've seen, not only at the core of our networks, but also the work of startups on the edges as well. The ability now, the empowerment that's been given by any man or woman or child to be able to directly and dynamically and in real time communicate with their, not only government agencies and government offices with which we have to do business, the DMV and our tax folks, but as importantly, our legislators, our city council people, our municipal leaders, who now have access to our thoughts, our perspectives, our concerns, our worries, because of the incredible power of the mobile platform. That's one level of civic engagement that's really important. The other important level, the other important attribute of mobility in terms of civic engagement is that our mobile platforms, our mobile tools, are giving us untold opportunity to be more effectively using our volunteer time, to be able to support financially institutions and organizations that we have affinity towards. We're becoming much more smart about those organizations, because even now with our contextually aware mobile devices, I could drive by a place of worship, a school, a volunteer organization, and it will be able to text me, because it knows that I'm driving by, hey, we need to have $50 in order to support this initiative tonight. Can you send a text right now? These are deep levels of civic engagement. But it's not just civic engagement. One of the other ways that mobility is helping our communities in a very direct way is by increasing the opportunities for our public safety officers, our first responders, to much more effectively, both cost effectively and operationally effectively, deploy their services to support us, to secure our neighborhoods, to make sure that if we're facing disasters or challenges, they can respond. In fact, we have a national award that we give. It's called the Mobilies, honoring the most publicly beneficial mobile applications and services. And last year, we're really proud that one of our award winners, in fact, our number one award, was given to a mobile application that allows firefighters and first responders to much more effectively stay in touch with each other to respond to crises in their neighborhood. So
Oh,
we're seeing
wow.
a lot of really innovation and disruption in public safety as well. Startup land, listen carefully. Every year, annually, in the fall, we select in a rigorous process with an incredible group of judges that are some really the greatest thought leaders and technologists around the land, a dedicated award to give recognition, some money, mentoring and tutoring opportunities with leaders in Washington, other places, through an award we call the Mobleys. Winners are chosen because they're doing great stuff with mobile technology, but they're also doing great stuff with mobile technology in the service of the public. And so we've got it's a great scheme. We're going to be announcing the next award soon. Stay tuned. Go to our site, www.mobilefuture.org, for announcements. We bring our winners to Washington, D.C. We introduce them to folks at the White House, at various other offices of government. It's a very important and growing national platform for recognizing innovation, brilliance, and public commitment in the mobile innovation ecosystem. Yesterday here at South by Southwest, former Vice President Al Gore, in fact, who was my former boss at the White House, we worked together in a lot of different ways in advancing the cause of preventing global climate change. He shared a vision for our world where we still have to remind ourselves that every day we need to be able to contribute effectively and responsibly to mitigating the risks of global climate change. We see the profound impacts already around us, and I believe that mobile infrastructure, the ability for communities, environments to stay much more aware of various changes of what's going on in terms of our climate and our responses to our climate, the ability to harness through using mobile platforms, engagement, discussion, education, but also the ability, as mobility extends again to the Internet of Things, to be able to use mobile tools and mobile networks to much more dynamically and granularly measure tiny changes in in climate science and in climate reality. These are all part of the infrastructure that we're going to need for driving effective, not only policy solutions, but data solutions to solve this problem. With that accumulation of data and its effective uses, resource allocation decisions at the government level, at the industrial level, can be made more effectively. But it also can give the lie to this notion that global climate change isn't related to human activity. It provides more proof points because of the advances in mobile infrastructure that's allowing more data to be real-time exchanged and aggregated, to say that, this is a real ongoing challenge, it's getting worse, and we need to resolve that this is an issue around which we have to join in common cause to do something about, and the mobile innovation community is stepping up to that challenge.